Hello, everyone. We're live at Epic headquarters. I'm here with Steve Polge,
Hello.
Sydney Rauschberger, and Matt Olfke. And I first want to tell you, with the news, that we are finally on the Epic Games Store. So you can go to the Epic Games Store right now. We'll have a link for you. And just go to epicgamestore.com. I think we're under Epic Gear. And if you click there, you will see 4 Unreal Tournament t-shirts. So let me give you a look at what they look like.
Stacey, that's a nice t-shirt you're wearing.
This is the first one, the blue flag. These shirts were Joe Wilcox's idea, and I just love them. But I'll show you first that we actually have. I think I have it here. I'm not sure. We have women's sizes along with men's sizes. So women, you can get your shirts too, because I know that everybody's saying, hey, where's my girl's shirt? So we have that. We have the UT 2004 logo. We have the red flag also. And what I really like about these shirts, and thank you, Steve, for allowing me to have these put on here, is on the back it has, I've got your back. Because that was like a tagline for a lot of clans. When we were playing VCTF in 2004 and we were going to a base following somebody who was going to grab the flag, we always said, got your back taunt. So love these ones. And, of course, we have the original Unreal Tournament logo. So we're hoping that these do really well, and if they do, we are going to get more, because you guys have a lot of great ideas. I know a lot of you want Shane Caudle's original artwork from the original UT, the flag carrier. So we definitely want to do that one. And there were a lot of great ideas from you guys also in the forum. So if you guys like these shirts, go ahead out and get them, and we will get some more. So, and we all have one, right?
Yes, or more.
Yes, one or more. I have all 4. I think Joe has all 4 too, and he's got them for his kids. So, also, we posted on Facebook to post some Halloween pics. We got a couple great ones from you guys, and we went back over time and we found angel mappers, Halloween masks, and stuff like that. So make sure you head over to Facebook and post your pictures, or post them on the forums, or wherever. Just make sure I get them so I can post them on Halloween. And so first up today, the reason we have Matt here today is we are going to start talking about bots. One of the things about Unreal Tournament that has always surprised me was that a lot of people don't go out and play multiplayer. They stay at home, they go on the LAN with their kids or with their family, and they never go online. They just play with bots. So people have been asking for them like crazy, right? So Matt is going to tell us a little bit what he's been doing with the bots, and right now he has up CTF Desk. Shelly, if you could bring that up. There we go. So you can kind of drive around there, Matt.
Okay, so the current build that we released on Monday is the first one that has bots that I would consider are playable, in that they can basically play DM. They're not great, but they will be able to kill you and get around the levels and pick up all the pickups. Here we have the way that the pathing setup is in the editor, and people who have used UE4 will notice the nav mesh there, but over top of it we do a UT specific thing where we group all of the polygons into nodes, which is so that we can put UT specific information like jump heights and special jumps like translocators and things like that. Like if you can see over here, it gets a little crazy with all the lines.
What's the difference between green and pink?
So the pink ones are require special movement.
So
generally like impact jumps or just long jumps that the bot needs to watch for falling damage or something like that. And so the bots can get the jump boots and then know that they can jump all the way up here. And all this stuff is automatic for the most part. Lift jumps are the only things right now that require LD intervention. I don't think there is one in this level, actually. Let me switch to Nick test, which is also a little bit more, a little bit simpler to view. There we go. So then the blue lines are the lifts, and so you put our familiar icon right now for lift jumps, and the bots can figure all that stuff out. But normal lifts are automatic too, so hopefully we're trying to make this really easy for LDs. You really just need to put a volume in your level that says what the space that we should be building navigation for, and most of it will just happen.
So I got a message on Sunday night. I was at home, and I got a message from Mark Rain and said, "These bots are kicking my ass. I love it." So he's very happy, and I'm also hearing from other people that the bots are actually pretty good right now.
So some of the basic combat logic is in. Obviously, there's a lot more to do. I've been working on CTF and translocator a lot this week, so hopefully in the next build that will be playable. And Steve, I know, wants to work on the aiming logic a bunch. We did a lot better in that in UT3, in that the bots were much more realistic, in that they were pretty good about looking exactly where they're shooting, no cheats or anything like that. And they had a tracking model for tracking where you were in the past, so that they could have basically just like a human's reaction time, where they don't immediately adjust to direction changes and that kind of stuff. So we'll be improving on that. And we also have a lot more enemy tracking now. The AI maintains a model of all the where they've last seen, heard of all the opposing players, and how much health they think they have. So we can use that. Like, I'm hoping to use it for CTF to have flag carriers do better routing around where they think enemies might be and things like that. Awesome. So that stuff is a lot more sophisticated than it was in the past, thanks to CPUs being better and things like that. So hopefully we can get a lot better combat logic from that.
So if people are on the forums and they're building a level and they want to know where to ask about their bots and their bot pathing, should they go to the level design forum, or is there an AI forum?
That's a good question.
I'd say, yeah, that's a good question. We need to figure that out.
Okay, we will figure that out, and we'll let you know. I'll put up a sticky.
As mentioned, hopefully it's mostly automated for now, although I'm sure it's possible there might be issues in certain
well, it would definitely be useful if people feel like LDs feel like there's situations that would need special accommodation, because then I can either think of an automatic way to do it or create something that will let you do it, like lift jumps being the special case that we have right now. I'm sure there'll be some other edge cases where it's just not going to be reasonable to have it magically figure it out, and you're going to have to put something. But like the lift jumps are really simple. You just put them in and you say what lift they are, and it pretty much figures it out from there.
Awesome. I wish it was like that back in the old days.
It's definitely exciting for us to not have to worry too much about it and just volume done.
So bots, I mean, I think there's several different things that bots are going to help us improve the game. I mean, obviously, like Stacy was saying, there's a lot of people that love to play with bots. It allows us to make UT a game that a really wide range of skilled players can play. It's a great way to introduce people to the multiplayer mode and let them kind of, dip their feet in without being crushed online. It's also great for us, I mean, for LDs, for programmers, for everybody, for testing stuff. It really makes it a lot easier to figure out whether certain kinds of things are working, or test, like this week I was doing some work on culling unneeded effects to improve performance, and having bots in there makes it easy to test if that kind of thing is working. The stuff that Matt's been working on basically now was the level traversal, which is one of the hardest problems, and especially with UT, it's really important that the bot has a view of the state of the entire level, right? You need to so having that node system that allows bots to really quickly determine efficiently what's going on everywhere, what pickups are available, what the state of how to get to their flag base and things like that is really valuable. But now there's a long period of refinement, and it's going to be great having the community involved in testing the bots and giving us feedback, because one of the things I think we've never done really well before is made all the different bot skills match the way that a player at that skill level plays. Part of it is because we've been limited in terms of how we've built the AI, but another part of it is, for example, really understanding, we're going to try to have a much more realistic aiming model, as Matt was mentioning, but really understanding how players at different skills, why they hit and why they miss, and trying to make the bots at those skill levels work more like that, I think is an example of the kind of thing that can make the bots feel a lot more like playing against players.
I think we should have a troll bot.
Yes.
We need a Neply bot that just runs around, paints stuff, and
Neply
attacks
bot.
every all the time.
Actually, right now in the INI files, you can set bot personality traits. There's a few in there. Obviously, lots to be implemented in that regard.
Really?
But
Yeah.
there's still like simple like accuracy boosts or negatives and favorite weapon and that kind of thing are configurable in there, and they will become more important as the AI gets developed further.
Just keep Loke away from the sniper rifle. So if somebody's playing right now and they have the game in the launcher and they start the game, can they just add the bots right from the interface?
The bots can be added from the normal create game menu.
Awesome.
I think on the forum somewhere we posted the command line option for server admins
Okay.
to add them as well.
All right, and so we can call more attention to that. Thank you very much, Matt. And speaking of level design, next up we have Sydney, who has a new CTF map for us.
Let me see if I can reach.
So this is called CTF Outside
Yeah.
right now.
In keeping with the creative naming scheme.
Working name.
At least it's memorable, recognizable, right?
And you guys, Joe's
we
going to
care
step
about.
in to talk about some HUD stuff, and Matt's going to step out. So thank you very much, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
So yeah. All right, so basically after working on DAM and kind of, getting a little convoluted and just a little, very ambitious with trying to create lots of crazy spaces, the goal with this really was to have a super simple, straightforward CTF map that is small, more fast-paced, harder to get lost in. So really, what you have from flag to flag is basically a straight line down the middle if you take the golden path.
Yeah, I only got lost once. So it was awesome.
And outside of that, what I cared about was basically still having some width in the basis to allow for, either interesting locations if you have flag standoffs, like places, options you can go to kind of take refuge if you need to hold an enemy flag, waiting for your team to return yours. And also another thing that's nice for this is adding some extra kind of juking possibilities as an actual flag runner yourself, right? Like if you picture yourself grabbing the flag, one thing I like to do a lot is pretend to go out one way, sidetrack over to another, and then take a different exit kind of thing, right?
And
I
this
think
map's
one of the
great
best
for
part
that.
about it here is that vertical slide right there, and how you can triple or quadruple wall dodge down there and come off with a
Yeah.
nice angle at the end.
So it's really like the obvious path to go for, the one where you're most predictable, but it's kind of a thrill ride to go down there.
Yeah,
and
but I
try
mean, you
and
can hit
get
the
through.
wall up there, hit the box over here, hit this wall, and then end
Yeah.
up almost on that ramp if you practice it enough.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different crazy wall dodges I used to be able to kind of.
Well, this is
make
it's
this one
really
through it
annoying
here,
for me when people go down that slide because they'll bounce back and forth like you just did. And it's so hard to kill them unless you get a good shot
Also,
combo off
yeah,
there.
with the flag placement up here too, I wanted the flag to be in a really obvious spot where it's easy to see and easy to grab. And kind of what this does too is that it's easy to have the flag stolen because it's easy for people to translocate up here, but it also means you're making yourself, a really good target if you just take the obvious translocate up to the flag for people that are defending. So it's kind of relying on the fact that you'll need to have at least one guy defending your own flag to be able to successfully cap. And then there's a bunch of different ways to get up there. Like you can, you can make that jump.
Yeah, I blow this one in
You can
multiplayer. all the
you can
time.
lift dodge or lift jump over here, for example, or just do the safe thing and try and stay out of line of sight and do the reverse from here. You can also get super convoluted and either write this one straight up or kind of go over here, sidetrack, wait for people trying to catch you to catch up and spam them, and then kind of take another wall dodge over. And that works offensively or defensively too. And really for the midfield too, I mean, that was actually probably the most quickly thrown together part of this entire map, but so far it's been working out pretty nicely actually, is to just have the super simple classic bridge across, path underneath, two options with a belt in the middle, so this is pretty much a high traffic area and you can kind of have some little nooks here to translocate through and traverse more quickly.
So you can usually find somebody down there looking for the belt.
Yeah, except for when you're playing with Matt, because Matt times it all the time. So.
It's true.
He just uses the little display on it. I mean,
Well, yeah, but I mean, he actually pays attention. He remembers.
Yeah,
so
I know.
just And then the idea behind this elevator was that it would be kind of an obvious thing to go for, and right up, but it also makes yourself pretty exposed and predictable. So you kind of get these two little windows of opportunity of, like, if you imagine being somebody who wants to play sniper up
And
here,
that
right?
sniper perch is awesome. That's one of my favorite
You
places.
can
to
either just do the
sit.
classic sniper against sniper thing, but also the bridge is actually a good spot to hang out. And there you kind of get the 1-2 chance of either catching him on the way in or catching him on the way over. And then
I also really like where we have the amp. It allows for that face, being able to sync the amps and just keep them going and be amped up the
Yeah.
whole time.
it's actually ended up being an interesting spot. So to start out with, it's a super deep thing. So then, second time around when we started playing a little bit, we kind of were leaning towards, well, maybe we should make it a little bit more shallow so you can catch more splash damage. But now I'm actually kind of leaning towards just leaving it the way
Oh, I
it is
like it like
again.
this.
Just because you can actually kind of get trapped up here. And if
Yeah.
you see somebody
And
go
how
up
the
there,
rockets
or if you go
come
up there
running up
yourself
there.
and you know that people notice you going up there, you'll just see rockets.
Or
and
maybe have a nice
fire
push
coming in
volume
and you
that
kind
pushes
The
you out
grenades.
slowly, so you constantly have to be readjusting up in there.
backpedal.
I think it was you tossing grenades up at me yesterday
Yeah,
when I
so
was sitting
Yeah.
up there.
there were some cool moments so far too, where sometimes you catch people in the air when they try to dodge back out with the amp and whatnot. And then underneath the flag too, we have this little armor pit where you can drop down and escape as a flag carrier. And again, you can kind of sidetrack as well to confuse people if you choose. I'm not 100% sold on how this is set up yet. With the platform is pretty shallow and the water.
I think the bigger
sometimes
problem
ends up
is
being
it
kind of,
means your flag carrier is always really
yeah.
well armored.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I think I want to let that rest for a little bit
Yeah.
and see how it shakes out, especially with people playing online now that they got it in the build. Because I mean, maybe that's personal preference, but I actually kind of like the sort of flag standoff gameplay that promotes, because it's always it's super intense to be a flag carrier waiting in your base while your own flag is gone and having to survive, waves of guys coming in trying to get their own team's flag back.
No,
Stuff
right
like
now
that.
it's kind of balanced by the fact that you don't have any super health in this base either, right? So you have to rely on that.
There's
On
a
the
few
health,
vials
on
that you
regular
can
health,
get,
yep.
but
Yeah, but I mean, there's no keg, so in the flag carrier, it's really risky for him to drop down and go for the shield belt.
yeah.
So you really, as a flag carrier, you have to rely on it. So I do kind of agree with that, but so far in our playtest, it has certainly seemed like you are always up against a fully stocked, fully ready flag carrier. And if he has even one
if he
defender,
does the legwork to actually get to that point, then yeah, that's a good possibility, right? But
It's funny watching the different play styles in this one because there's so many places where you can go. If you're holding the flag up here, you can either escape or you can stand and fight. And there's a lot of weapons up here and a lot of places you can go and hide and actually get away from people.
oh, you missed it.
I don't know. I always miss it. I always blame it on the mouse, though.
You could definitely blame that mouse. It's wireless.
It's actually also like another thing too that I kind of tried paying attention to while shelling this, was to kind of have some extra evasive space. Like this is basically, I mean, you could kind of deem it useless, right? You're not getting anywhere, but it's just basically here purely for the fact of allowing some extra angles and kind of evading if you imagine yourself
I
going
will say the
up
first couple
against
times we
people.
played this map, the number of times I got caught in that cul-de-sac there, not thinking, that sucked.
You can very consciously use it to kind of
Oh, yeah.
take different routes and cut over and whatnot. And it's sort of similar down here too, because most people tend to take the ride down the canal here and just escape down the hole or go up the bridge. But you can actually also cut over to the left here, and there's this neat little shortcut where you get some extra vials, and then you can pretty much dodge straight into the lift too. So even though it's small, I tried to have a lot of options for flag runners in here.
Are you going to keep it so you can die if you go off the edges? Or is
I
that
don't
going
know.
to change?
I mean, so far I haven't seen anybody get pushed off really yet. I don't think.
I tried getting
Oh,
you
yeah,
off
you didn't
there
play
that
that
other
one
night
with me.
when we were playing and you were coming over that top area, but it doesn't
It hasn't
require enough
happened yet.
momentum to. You have
If
enough
you-
air
if
control
you-
to pull
I
back
think
up.
Matt
If you
shot
get
me off
somebody
of there.
like over here with a shock while they're in the air or
Yeah.
something, you can probably knock them over.
Well, that's what it
but-
was. You were coming off the
Yeah.
top by the vials, and I nailed you with a shock combo, but you were
Yeah.
still able to air control back on. So
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Right now, it hasn't been a problem so far or anything. So I'll see. I like the visual possibilities that it has, for leaving it open, because that means
Yeah, I
you can
like
put
it
a nice
too.
vista shot in here.
yeah,
But, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Awesome.
So. Actually, also one quick thing. I'll just fire up ASDF real quick, because that's been in the depot for a while now, but I recently got a chance to go back and just do a tiny update to it, which really is nothing major. but also we hadn't shown it on the stream before. So
Oh, look at this.
This is a crazy map online right now.
this is crazy if you played with anything beyond like 4 or 5, 6
Well, that's the
people.
thing. And I was on a server the other night
With-
playing with just some community guys. There was like 15 people.
Yes,
in
it was
there.
a.
All I did was, hammer time the whole time. I loved it.
Well, this map is actually really a lot of fun because of all the lifts and all
We made
the trick jumps you can do in
A
it.
few small updates since it was actually first committed. Was like this elevator used to be kind of way back in here with a bridge across. Now the elevator is out front, which allows you to do some more interesting, dodges and whatnot and get around. This backspace here, which is really only there for evasive space and also health space, used to kind of be a dead end more or less, and people online were suggesting to kind of add another way to cut up here. So I added this little extra ledge that you can like wall dodge up to, so you don't have
sloped wall
to
dodge.
slope
Oh,
wall dodge,
nice.
so you don't have to take the
Yeah,
the
that's
long way
nice.
around. You kind of get some extra options for.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
Right.
shout
I'm
out
not
to the
gonna try
guys
too
in the
often.
level design forum who have been getting Sid feedback, as it's been really helpful.
Yeah. Very kind of classic shield placement in the pit down here.
Yeah, I never get that ever.
And a ton of elevators all around and jump pads. Like basically just trying to have lots of interesting verticality in here. Being able to move up and down between levels really quickly.
It's
you
just
can
missing
do-
a keg.
I don't know. I mean,
Don't play Chumbo in this map ever. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I mean, KEG is generally, since this was sort of, meant to be a dueling map that also supports, higher player counts for either crazy FFAs or maybe 2-on-2s, like, KEG generally doesn't really work out very well in that scenario because you want to rely on vials and the sound cues that they provide for people to allow them to go past 100 and all that. Which is kind of the reason too why there's only 5 vials in the dead center of the map, because picking those up is a cue that you can hear pretty much anywhere, so you know exactly where somebody's at. Also for all the jump pads, you can kind of combo them into wall dodges as well, so you can either take them straight up, or if you hit it right, you can actually wall dodge off over to the armor.
I'm actually
These
good
are
at
all
that one.
equidistant too, so you can wall dodge from over here, you can make the same move from up there as well.
Yeah,
and
the verticality on this map and how people can fly through it is really fun.
Yeah, it's just, and the guys that are playing it are just stupid good at it.
And it's
Yeah.
it's really, really simple too. It's essentially a diamond shape, or you have armor
So that was
here,
the question that
armor
we
there.
saw. Are we ever going to have like an overview of the map before we start, like a screenshot of the top-down view?
Oh, you mean like a kind of pre-match introduction to them?
Yep.
I don't know.
I would also love to see that as, I'd love for people to make videos of, that are map-specific training videos of here's how you play this map.
Yeah, that would be
at
awesome.
Basic overview level, advanced jumps, all that kind of stuff. That's something we're still looking for, is for people to give us some
So tutorials.
tutorial videos, some
even have
match
a
videos, so we
tutorial
can
forum
put them
now.
on. We've got in our launcher, we've got a link to, what do we call it? Not current matches, but
Yeah, featured matches.
featured matches. So give us some matches to feature, and we'll put them on there.
This mouse is really horrible.
And I think in terms of like the overviews and everything like that, I think it would be a great way to utilize the dead space and the loading screen, have a video playing that
Yep.
shows a quick overview. Those are really good locations for things like that, and I think we'll eventually get there, but we're still a ways off.
Yeah, top-down helps a lot.
Right now, it would just help to have people making the videos so that we can have them available for somebody.
And obviously nothing's final, and we realize when you make a video that it's not gonna be a video that's gonna be part. Well, first of all, this game is never gonna be final because we plan to be continually making it, updating it, making it better. But in any case, we need to learn how what kind of videos people need, how to make these videos, the size and everything. So we need people to start making them so that the community can give feedback on what they really need, and especially as we start getting new players in, they can give feedback on what works for them in terms of training them and how to become good UT players.
All right, thank you very much, Sid.
My pleasure.
When's the bot pathing going to be done in this?
It should have a volume in there. If not, then
Okay,
I should fix
awesome.
that.
So next, we're going to have Joe talking about the HUD. Last week, we went over the HUD designs that we were given, and we gave people some ideas. And we got a lot of people who came back and gave us some new designs. And
I was really surprised at how quick that thread blew up. I mean, we went to
I know,
13
it's
pages
crazy.
in basically the weekend, which was great. And the nice thing about it is it didn't just blow up in people discussing about it. We had 7 or 8 active people making HUD designs. And so what we did was on Monday, we took all of them and we figured out which ones we really wanted to focus on. And we had a big meeting, and we created this wiki page that just talks about what our notes from that meeting were, what I think we're looking for. Now, let me just start by saying that we're nowhere near what our HUDs are going to look like yet. We are starting to zero in on the functionality and what the different elements that we like are, and I think we're moving in the right direction in a lot of the cases. We don't want to end up with something really arcadey and colorful like Quake. We want something a little more grounded, a little really quick to read. So we're in the right direction on that. This thread is great. We came away with takeaways from just about all the HUDs that were out there and posted it up, and we're now on thread number 2, which is coming up in the forums, where we're already starting to see submissions from people who were in the first time, starting to adjust their initial designs to meet what we're looking for. And again, we're not there yet, but we're making a lot of really good progress in a really short period of time. And my hope is that when we start the HUD somewhere in the first week or so of November, that we have a really good design laid out for the initial HUD, and we can go from there. And I definitely think we're in the right direction. So if you're interested in working on the HUD, or just interested in seeing the process of how these things develop and evolve over time, definitely check out this thread, because it's really good. It is direct feedback from the entire team. I mean, we were all in that conference room, and we all had a chance to say, and not everybody likes everything, not everybody agrees with everything, but this is how it's done.
I should
This
say
is
that
helpful.
surprisingly we had consensus on most everything. Really,
I think we did,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think there's going to be another pass. I mean, once we pick an initial, vision of where we think we're going and we implement it, then what really matters is how it works when you're playing, and whether it gives you the information you need, and whether it's clear, and so that's something that we're going to continue iterating on, even once we think we have our initial design that we're basing our implementation on. And also, this is certainly something people are going to be able to make their own HUD skins. We're going to have some configurability built into our base HUD, but certainly that's something we'd love the community to give us variants in terms of making more configurable HUDs, or HUDs with different setups. To this is the kind of thing where we obviously have to we need to constrain. I mean, everybody has to you can't make your HUD include a wall hack, obviously, but but within reason, I mean, a HUD is the kind of thing that doesn't where if everybody is just coming up with a way to express the information that we're trying to give to the player in a way that works for that player, and so that there's a room for a lot of variety there, and so we really hope that the community will take advantage of that and run with it.
Yeah, I think the biggest example, for example, there are a lot of people in the community who want a very iconic, very arcadey HUD like in Quake or Quake Live. And there's room for that. There's no reason why somebody can't build that HUD and put it in the marketplace, and you can run with it. And that's
as long
ultimately
as it's original art.
Sure, as long as it's original. And that's
Canon will thank you
we
for that.
designed the HUD system from the beginning to be a very modular system, where hopefully that you'll be able to do that. And ultimately, what I'd like to be able to get to the point of is having collection of HUD widgets that are available in the marketplace, and then you can go and through some layout tool, pick what HUD widgets you want and design your own HUD. Are we going to get there anytime soon? I don't know. If somebody from the community wants to step in and do that, then we'll get there a lot sooner. But that's where I'd like to end up. But right now, we're focusing on how we want our default HUD to look. What is the default basic functionality, and how does it affect the game? And I think we're making really good progress in that area.
Awesome. So there are different peoples in here, and I see. So you
Right,
kind of
what we did-
broke everything down and let people know.
Yeah, what I did was I took what I think was the top 5 that we really liked, as informally going around the office saying, "Hey, look at this," and seeing what people liked and what they didn't. And so we took it and we broke it down, and we put them all up on the big screen and said, "Okay, here's what we like about it." And everybody would chime in, "Oh, I like this. I don't like this. I think this should be over here." For example, I think one of the big things, and this is a great example right here, is We all, I think, agree that the health and armor down at the bottom in the center of the screen like this is a great placement. But out of this meeting, we realized that we really like the icons to flank the paper doll, whereas in this example here, they're on the outside. And those are takeaways that were coming out, and it just seems to feel right to us, and that's what we're shooting
Actually,
for.
we were
in this.
skeptical too about the paper doll even being bottom center, but
Yeah.
after seeing it in a lot of the designs, it works pretty
Yeah,
well
some
as
of the
long as the
designs, it
spacing
look
is
really
kind of
great.
maintained.
Yeah,
But,
I know originally in our discussions, we were like, no, I think that's going to take up too much space. Let's make sure the paper doll is over here. I know that some of us don't even want paper dolls.
Yes.
I mean, I fight for it. I think it's
So
something
it
that's
just
very
feels
UT,
like UT.
that we need in there. But at the same time, I want the ability to turn it off, and we'll have that.
Awesome. Okay, and Steve, you have an update for us about what's been going on in development over the week?
Well, I think so. Everybody saw the work that Matt's doing on bots, and that's what his main focus has been. He's doing a little bit of bug fixing as well, but that's what he's focused on. Joe's looking at HUD, but mostly working on the community lobby right now. That's something we'll be really excited to get in your hands soon.
Really excited for that.
I'm working on it. It's a lot of UI work that
Yeah.
goes into that, and I think that everybody underestimated the amount of work that's going to take to put together.
A lot of the stuff we've underestimated. Huh?
As you guys probably know, last week we had to delay getting our version out, so that's kind of shortened what we're doing this week because of some problems with moving to 4.5 final and the Linux server. But that's all worked out now. I think Pete's been focusing more on that kind of stuff and supporting plugins and things like that. And this week I did a little bit of cleanup and additional functionality for our announcer. And then I've also been working on some performance optimizations, setting up some automatic culling of explosion effects and decals and stuff that aren't relevant to a player. I'm not trying to fully optimize there, but this is, again, the whole process of development is we're kind of going wide and setting up the basic systems we need. And so we have a programmer from the rendering team that's going to be looking at performance in UT and doing a first pass over the next couple of weeks. And so I just wanted to make sure that we had some of our systems set up so that there weren't any easy, low-hanging fruit that didn't really need to be investigated that we had already taken care of. But at this point, my plan is to start focusing more again on design, especially movement and weapons. I mean, those are two areas that we've sort of put down for a while, but we know that there's still a lot of work to do there. So we're going to be focusing on those things again, and I'll start spinning up some of those threads. I know there'll be plenty of people in the community that'll have passionate opinions on where we should go. One thing that you'll probably see in the build this week that I already did, that's a very minor change, is I made some increased the ground movement acceleration based on some of the stuff that was in a forum thread. The main difference between what we did is that we're not, it's only changing your acceleration on the ground, and it doesn't affect air control. We're pretty happy with where air control is right now. We're not sure that that's where we're going to stay. We're testing it out. We like it. I mean, frankly, my feeling is that's a change that for the most part, I'd be surprised if experienced UT players don't like, because it just gives you better precision and better feel. But we just want to make sure that it works well with in the network with the network code, and also works well as being something that feels right for players coming in from other games. In terms of network code, this is not a UT's network code, doesn't support this. We need to fix the network code. This is limitations of reality and physics and having machines that are widely separated and don't have synchronized clocks. It is not a solvable problem that we can fix in the network code. It's just we tend to have, UT tends to have much higher acceleration, and things like dodging and really quick direction changes exacerbate this problem, and that's why a lot of other games don't have this high of acceleration. So it's not something that we can fix. It's more of what's the balance between the feel of your movement versus the errors that are inevitable in what you're going to see in the position of other players, because your client doesn't have perfect information about what's going on 200 milliseconds away on another client, or 100 milliseconds. I mean, even 100 or 50 milliseconds, even on a good connection, you're going to see there's going to be some artifacts to this. So we're just trying to figure out what the best balance is, but we definitely think it's worth playing around with this higher value and see where we go from there.
All right. Sid, when can people play CTF outside?
CTF outside is in the latest build already.
Awesome.
So
So they can play now.
Right now.
So right now. One other thing I wanted to take a look at, and I totally forgot, was Gooba rusted up his flat cannon a little bit. So let's end with a little picture of Gooba's flat cannon. Yeah.
bam.
I really like that.
You sure you like that better than the pink one?
I might like that a little bit better than the pink one. Just a little bit. Maybe a pink one with the rust would be really good. So
You hear that, Gooba? She wants pink. Give her pink.
So make sure tomorrow that you join the Unreal Engine stream at the same time as this stream. Dana, Laurent, Matt, and Chance will be there, and they'll be talking about the animation workflow and more. And also make sure you like and follow us, and make sure you run to epic.gm/UT-store. We'll put the link back up again and grab your Unreal Tournament t-shirt. We'll see you guys next week.
Shout out to Keeper Matt, who's out there.
And I've got your back. See ya.